And on May 18th, 43 years ago, Mount St. Helens blew up. So what we're going to do today is we're going to see if we can fly over Mount St. Helens. I'm taking off from Packwood. And testing one, testing one, testing one, and testing one. Alrighty, I can hear it. So what we have today, what we're going to do is we're going to be flying from Packwood, and I'm going to put in a flight plan to KBFI, which is Boeing Field, from Packwood. However, what we're going to do is we're going to fly VFR, and we're going to fly south. There's Mount Adams there. There's Mount Rainier here. And then over here you can see this lake. That is called Spirit Lake. And then of course right behind that is the new elevation of Mount St. Helens. And let's go ahead and get into our plane. I already set the altimeter. And on our flight plan here real quickly, what we're going to do is we're going to go there, flight plan. We want to press this button, and then we'll go ahead and rotate, and then I'm just going to type in using this button here. You can type it in, and the origin of our flight is 55 Sierra. That's Packwood. And undo that button there, press enter, and then okay, none. Go ahead and put none. Or first of all, I want to go ahead and set our altitude's going to be, we're going to fly up to 10,000 feet. So we'll put 10,000 feet in there. And then our waypoints, we have one waypoint that's called Ratty. And that's the Romeo Alpha Delta Delta Yankee. That's Ratty. Press enter. And then we'll have another waypoint that's going to be C. And of course that stands for Seattle. Press enter. And then our destination is going to be Kilo Bravo Foxtrot, India. And we'll go ahead and press enter on that. And now I want to find out what the, okay, so I'll say none for now. I want to find out what the elevation is for kilo. You know, I wonder if pressing enter here, it has the elevation, right? Is that the elevation, the actual elevation? 19 feet or 119 feet? I'd be interested to find out. At any rate, here we are going to Boeing Field airport diagram, and the airport elevation is about 19 feet. There's 18 on that side, 21 on that side. So we'll go ahead and say 19. So that'll work. I'll go ahead and put in, going back to the flight plan here, go ahead and scroll down. Nope, how do I do that? Okay, clear. Flight plan here. Press the button here. Scroll down, and then go ahead and put in, I'll just say 20. Enter. And flight plan. And so what we're going to do though is we're going to be doing some VFR. But here's Mount Rainier. This is tracked up. So this is what our plane is facing in this direction. We'll have a track up. So north, of course, you can see the arrow there. North is going that way. And so we'll be flying to Ratty to KBFI. But we're going to climb to 10,000 feet. And we're going to fly toward this little pimple right here. I think it's that pimple. Is it that pimple or is it that pimple? I think no. This is the one. You can see Spirit Lake right there. This is Mount Adams over here, and this is Mount St. Helens. So that's our destination. And I don't like to keep doing that. We'll go ahead and set up now for takeoff here. Go ahead, put on my pitot heat, and we'll undo the brake. First of all, what I wanted to do on KBFI, on the standby there, I have standby button, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight the standby for number 2, and on KBFI I want to put in the ATIS, and then the ATIS right here is 127.750. And so to change this number to 127.750, what you do is you highlight it like I did here, press enter, and then that brings that number to 127.750. Activate that, and then monitor it with COM2. So we don't hear it now yet, but when we get close, we'll put COM2 on. Actually, I'll go ahead and just turn COM2 on for now, and if we hear it, we'll know it, and then we can use it again later. We'll listen to it again later. But anyway, here we are. We are ready for takeoff. We're going to take straight out, and
55 Sierra traffic Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie taking off runway 19er departing straight out.
Get my Xbox controller here. I'm taking off with no flaps. Kind of go down a little bit there. And this is real time. And so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and spool up here. I got oxygen rich. I am at about a 1,000-foot elevation already. So we'll go ahead and spool up, and then we're on our roll here. And what we're going to do is we're going to climb out on the X, which is 62. Taking a little bit to get going. Airspeed is alive. Rotate.
Stall. Boeing Airport Information Oscar 020.
So what we're going to do is
Wind 206
I can
at
shut
4.
that off for now.
Visibility.
I engage the autopilot, and we'll do a flight level change, and then we want the nose up to about 62. So we have the best rate of our X is the best angle of climb, and I'm going to go ahead and synchronize the heading here, and we'll fly off the heading. And I'm looking at those mountains right in front of us here. I'm wanting to go this way. So we got the best angle of climb. Instead of the best rate of climb, we want the best angle of climb. So nose up a little bit more. I'm backing off now a little bit on our mixture because we're already at an altitude of almost 2,000 feet. And there's a river right there. I'm not exactly sure which river that is. So we'll go ahead and go to the right. We're kind of following this ravine a little bit. But our destination, of course, is Mount St. Helens. And I want to show you a video, and the video is off of Creative Commons, so it shouldn't get blocked. But it's a video on what happened 43 years ago today. trying to keep that blue right there with that X. Just took off from Packwood. There's Mount Rainier. And over these ridges here, we should see Mount St. Helens pretty soon. I'm going to go ahead and kind of follow that ravine there a little bit more. Again, we're flying off the heading. More to the right. We are now at 3,600, 4,000 feet. Backing off now a little more on the mixture. And this lake right here, right about where that 210 is, that is Spirit Lake. The elevation of Mount St. Helens has, of course, is a lot less than what it used to be. I have information on it here through Wikipedia. Elevation right now is 8,363 feet. We'll talk about that in a minute. We're getting there. Destination altitude, of course, is 10,000 feet. And for the remainder of the flight, what we're going to do is 10,000 feet. Again, this is the best angle of climb. We have the best rate of climb, which is the Y. We have the best glide speed, the best angle of climb. What you want to do in steep terrain, you want to get up there. To the left there, you can see now appearing over the peak is Mount Adams. But, and then of course your rotation speed. I kind of stalled a little bit there at the takeoff. I think one reason is I didn't pull the plunger all the way. I only had the throttle up to about maybe 65%, 75% initially. I should have had it all the way up. But it took a little bit. When you're at higher elevations, your rollout is longer. There's a plane up there. It's United Airlines 2289. And real quickly looking at Flight Radar 24, that's UAL 2289. 289. And that is going to Los Angeles, from Seattle to Los Angeles. 1569. That one, well, that's not even registering yet. Oh, that's Dallas 1569. Or Dallas. I always say Dallas. Delta Airlines 1569. Delta Airlines 1569, both of those planes are going to Los Angeles, taking off from Seattle. So maybe they'll fly in tandem. There's Mount Rainier. The valley below. It's a beautiful valley. And now, just over the horizon there, we can start to see Mount St. Helens coming into view. Mount Adams. Look at this over here. I'm not sure. I think that might be a point of interest with my complex. Not exactly sure what it is, what it's called. We're climbing at a pretty good rate. Our flight plan right now. We'll just go ahead and look at where we are here. We are at 6,900 feet. I believe that we're well above even Mount St. Helens, 8,300 feet. So when we get to 8,300 feet, we'll be able to clear Mount St. Helens, and you can see Mount St. Helens right over here. This is real time. Good steady climb. Outside air temperature is 10 degrees. We got a 5-knot headwind at 210. And when we get to altitude, I would like to just show a quick in-flight video. And we'll explore with our drone here. But I want to kind of get away from the plane with our drone so that we don't have the engine noise on our video. Now this is a royalty-free, I guess you can say, video. So I did a video one time of Hearst Castle, and it was blocked. It said that I had to put that part out. So I did a search on Mount St. Helens, and I hit Creative Commons. And Creative Commons means that you can pretty much share the video worldwide without fear or favor, basically. It's really pretty. I'm going to have to go check that out one of these days in real life. I'm not exactly sure what that is. But I bet you there's, probably good camping and whatnot down there. That beach is gorgeous. I gotta figure out what that is. 8,000 feet, maybe 200. We're still climbing at a good 550 feet a minute. I fill it up with 70% of fuel. And there it is. There's Mount St. Helens. A little bit of a haze. We do have a little bit of a haze already. I mean, we've had a lot of clear weather, but from the lightning thunderstorms close to the mountains, there's already been some reports of fires. And yesterday we had quite a bit of smoke in the air and had a pretty red sunset because of the smoke in the air. See where we are on our map here. There's Spirit Lake right there. And you can actually see Spirit Lake now. Right there. About another 2 minutes or so, about 500, 600 feet a minute. So less than 2 minutes. You can see some clearing down there from forestry. We must be hitting some drafts now because our rate of climb is reduced quite a bit. We're still at the best rate of climb, or best angle of climb. We'll probably actually bring it up. So we'll go ahead and we'll be nose down and bring it up to the best angle of climb, or the best rate of climb. Why is the best rate of climb? Y is around 75. Again, we are in flight level change mode for our ascent. About 900, 9,500. I think we're doing good on that. I'm going to go ahead and show the video. Bring the nose back up. Almost there. Our destination right here, destination altitude. And there's a good view of Mount St. Helens right there. And we'll talk about it here in a minute. So we get to altitude here. I'm going to go ahead and just configure the plane. Okay, we are at altitude now. And we're just going to go ahead and fly the heading that we're in right now. Maybe kind of bring it to the south just a little bit here. And now backing off on the power. I don't want to fly. Okay, we're at 10,000. I don't want to zip by it. But let's go ahead and look at our video here. So we'll go ahead. And I queued it up, and I'll put a link below. But the video is called This Place in Time. And so what we want to do is I'm just going to go ahead and show from about the 112 to the 250 mark on the video, and in the 634 there's a 1043. So it's at about 111 right now. We'll go ahead and play it.
Mount St. Helens, a 9,677-foot sleeping volcano nestled in the wild abundance of the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest in southwest Washington.
This is what it looked like before it blew. My wife
Before it
and her
began to
family, actually,
awake
when
from
my
its
wife
slumber
was a
in
child,
March 1980,
they camped
Mount
here.
St. Helens was indeed surrounded by beautiful, bountiful forests and lakes and streams. From the summit, the views were breathtaking. Below lay Spirit Lake, and in the distance, Mount Rainier. The natural setting was a recreational haven for campers, hikers, picnickers. Thousands of children had their first camping and boating experiences on Spirit Lake at the YMCA's Camp Meehan and other youth camps. Forest Service campgrounds like Bear Cove, Cedar Creek, and Donnybrook provided an inspirational setting for those who would venture into this postcard world.
Okay, this place in time. So let's go ahead and go back to the plane here. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. So Mount St. Helens, at the time that you saw there in that video, it was just a very pristine area to go camping. And my wife and her family, when she was a child, went camping on Spirit Lake, and it was almost like a perfect symmetrical tone there. And let's go ahead now again, and I'm going to go ahead and go back into the drone so we're away from the plane here. And I just want to again go back to the video, and this time just going from 6:34 to about 10:43. And again, I'll put a link on this video. This video is publicresource.org, this place and time, but certainly worth watching. So bringing it up to 6:34, 6:30, about 6:29. Here we go.
Sunday morning, May 18th, 1980. It was like any other morning for a Forest Service tree planting crew on the lower southern flank of the mountain until 8:32 a.m. It seemed to happen in an instant. The whole top of the mountain, tons of ash, rock, and ice, rocketed into the stratosphere. The cloud reached some 15 miles up into the sky. The sight was spectacular.
As most of you already know, we had a major eruption occurring at 8:32 approximately this morning on Mount St. Helens. It does appear that the northwest flank of the mountain seems to be gone. They have indicated that there have been some mud flows that come down the southeast flank of the mountain. Emergency procedures have been put into effect. At 10:15 this morning, Cowlitz County reported that a 12-foot wall of water was coming down the Tule River, and this was verified by the Washington State Patrol.
The raging wall of water caused by the melted ice and snow roared through a logging camp, picking up more debris as it went, knocking out bridges, cabins, and homes.
There is a front line
Get off the bridge! Hey, doing it.
In a matter of hours, the flood surged under the Toutle River Bridge on Interstate 5, forcing closure of the main arterial between Seattle and Portland. Entire forests with logs hundreds of years old passed by stunned onlookers. Eventually, the logs and mud reached the Columbia River, clogging the river channel and closing it to freighter traffic. But the wind was blowing the ash in a northeasterly direction, and at noon it was pitch black in much of central and eastern Washington.
CITAM and CATS FM urges everyone to not panic. If you want to start getting out some water
The
supplies
gritty
now,
clouds seemed to some like the end of the world.
I'm sorry the road is closed from here any further east. Okay. This is as far east as you can go.
All over eastern Washington, people and other living things suddenly had to deal with a world full of ash. Ash from a plume that eventually spread around the world. For a while, roads and highways hundreds of miles away had to be closed due to blowing ash. The ash was everywhere, and because it was so light and fine, the grit got into everything. Water simply turned it into a substance with the consistency of wet cement. Meanwhile, the biggest rescue operation in the history of the Northwest was underway, involving military helicopter units, volunteers, and Forest Service employees, all coordinated by the county sheriffs.
Look at this, it doesn't even look like the same country. Even the valleys have changed. And nothing matches the map.
Where's Spirit Lake? Is that it over there? I can't believe I've camped up in this area. Just looks like any place I've ever been before.
Rescue op-
So that's basically it. I'm going to go ahead and just fly over it now. But actually, we're probably quite a ways away, aren't we? But there it is, Mount St. Helens. And Mount St. Helens major eruption of May 18, 1980 remains the deadliest and most economically destructive volcanic event in U.S. history. 57 people were killed, 200 homes, 47 bridges, 15 miles of railways, 185 miles of highway were destroyed. A massive debris avalanche triggered by a magnitude 5.1 earthquake caused a lateral eruption that reduced the elevation of the mountain summit from 9,677 feet to 8,363 feet, leaving a 1 mile wide horseshoe-shaped crater. The debris avalanche was 0.6 cubic miles in volume. 1980 eruption disrupted terrestrial ecosystems near the volcano. By contrast, the aquatic ecosystems in the area greatly benefited from the amounts of ash, allowing life to multiply rapidly. 6 years after the eruption, most of the lakes in the area returned to their normal state. So can you imagine being here 43 years ago today? Of course, the soot, it would be impossible to, I mean, I can't imagine even some of those helicopters flying through there, getting all of that soot inside the air intakes for their engines. It was probably quite a task just doing those rescue operations that they were talking about. But and again, I'll put on the link there of the mountain, of that video that we were just watching. Very interesting video to watch. We visited the lake or the mountain about. It was about 91 or 92. So about 12 years after the fact, and then a couple of times after that we visited Mount St. Helens, and just from the first time to the other times after that, there's been change. There's been a lot of change. So we'll go ahead and fly over the ridge. The ridge is it was 9677. So now it's 8363. We'll go ahead and jump into our drone again, bring the drone back to the plane. And speed up the drone a little bit. I remember the last time that we went to Mount St. Helens, we could see some of those trees, the regrowth of those trees, and they looked almost artificial. They were just so perfect. And I wish I could just, I don't know if I could demonstrate it through Flight Simulator, but it was actually on this side of the mountain here. And some of those trees, they were just picture perfect trees. There it is, Mount St. Helens. You can see kind of like a cone for a while there. A cone started to grow after, in like 2006, I think it was. It was even steaming for a while again. And here's some of the mud flows. One of the mud flows going this way. You can see the mud flow right here. But the biggest mud flow, of course, is going toward in this direction. Cowlitz River, I think it is. You can see the mud flow. And even today, you can just see the mud going on and on and on. And this is that river that they were showing with the trees. Look at that. You can see the remnants of an old highway there. On and on and on. That's miles and miles and miles. This is real-time weather. And in Spirit Lake, apparently the elevation of Spirit Lake is some 200 feet higher than it was when my wife went camping there back in the late 70s. And Harry Truman's lodge, he had a lodge right there at Spirit Lake. And it's buried some 200 feet below all of that mud right there and debris. There's a southern rim of it with Mount Rainier in the background. That's Mount Adams ahead of us. Spirit Lake. This is real-time weather. So perfect day. I mean, if there's anybody doing this in real life, I bet you there might be. I don't see any planes right now on Flight Radar 24 over Mount St. Helens at this point. But it doesn't mean that there hasn't been any planes flying over here just to take a look. I'm using my mouse right here, and I'm rolling this, and then when I roll, sometimes the mouse pointer goes off and then it just rolls back. has two functions here. You roll back and forward for your view, or you can roll the heading there. I'm trying to roll the heading. Sometimes the plane moves. Anyway, I can't imagine just the devastation here. Says on March 27th, a series of volcanic explosions and fire flows began at Mount St. Helens in Skamania County, Washington. And of course, we know that on May 18th, 1980, it blew. So approximately 57 deaths, about 1.1 billion in property damage, 3.6 billion today, adjusted for inflation. And it says, because the collapse of the volcano's northern flank deposited ash in 11 U.S. states and 5 Canadian provinces. The eruption was preceded by a 2-month series of earthquakes and steam venting episodes caused by injection of magma at shallow depth below the volcano that created a large bulge and a fracture system on the mountain's northern slope. So that's what that bulge is right there. It's from subsequent eruptions. Let's go ahead and turn left here again. Go west. Go west, young man. So Harry R. Truman, he was a lodge keeper over there, and he was a World War I veteran. About 57 people were killed, including innkeeper and World War I veteran Harry R. Truman, photographers Reed Blackburn and Robert Lansford, and geologist David A. Johnston. Hundreds of square miles were reduced to wasteland, causing over 1 billion in damage. Thousands of animals were killed, and Mount St. Helens is left with a crater on its north side. And that's what we're just about ready to fly toward, is looking at its north side. At the time of the eruption, the summit of the volcano was owned by Burlington Northern Railroad, but after the railroad donated the land to the United States Forest Service. The area was later preserved in the Mount St. Helens National Volcanic Monument. In that film that I have, that I showed you, I'll put a link to. I will. Well, it has you know, a part in there about Harry R. Truman, and also a part in there about David A. Johnston. Hey, Mike Coffey, glad you joined us here. We're on a flight here around Mount St. Helens. You know, I was planning on doing this flight for some time, and I thought about it today, this morning, and then it dawned on me, you know, I was just thinking, hey, I'm going to go ahead and just fly over Mount St. Helens. And it dawned on me, wait a minute, you know what? Today is May 18th, and May 18th is the day that Mount St. Helens erupted. So I thought, what a coincidence. I thought that was pretty cool. Please no more boom. I live close by volcano Mount Baker, sleeping. Yeah, Mount Baker is a sleeping giant, and also another sleeping giant that's even a bigger giant, of course, is Mount Rainier. And boy, I tell you, if that ever blows, either one of those, and if it ever blew to the capacity that this thing blue. It would be quite a catastrophe. We're flying over Spirit Lake right now. This is real-time weather and real-time time. Mount St. Helens has remained dormant from the last period of activity in the 1840s and 1850s until March 1980. So there was nothing going on until March 1980. And that's when there's several small earthquakes started to rattle. And I think even to this day there's still some small earthquakes that rattle. It's still an active volcano today. You know, it's interesting too, in that film there's these loggers, and there's this one guy, you know, apparently they were asking him at lunch break, and they were saying, are you guys, you know, concerned about the mountain blowing up? And the one guy's eating a pickle, and he says, yeah, not any more concerned than about that tree right there falling on me. So it was pretty interesting. And apparently they do have to be concerned about trees falling on them, because I think this right here is the lodge right there that's there now. You can see a building right there, and I believe that is the Johnston Observatory Lodge there. We've been to that, and you can drive up there. There's a parking lot there, and there's the lodge right there. So let's go ahead and turn a little bit more over there, go toward the mountain. And the trees, again, we came in from this side over here, and the trees are just so pristine. They're just so, they almost look artificial. They're just so beautiful. I don't know if I have pictures. I don't know what that was. Hopefully I'm still connected. Am I still connected? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. I heard something kind of like connected, disconnected the windows. Anyway, but those trees were just so pristine, they almost looked artificial. Actually, I think we're coming in from this side right here somewhere. Go above. Yeah, it's just too bad. I think that even the volcanologist David A. Johnston, he knew that it was going to be quite a catastrophic eruption. But I don't think that he really, you know, I don't think he expected so much to decide to blow like it did. And unfortunately, it just blew right into his path. Happened all at 8:32 in the morning. Flight plan there. We'll join our flight plan. And as we fly by, we can also look at Mount Rainier. And of course, Mount Rainier, there's Mount Rainier right there, and Mount Adams right there. do believe this right here is Mount Hood. That's the mountain in Oregon, which is also another volcano. We're flying over the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest. And so you have Mount St. Helens, you have Mount Adams, you have, of course, Mount Rainier, and some smaller mountains, of course. What I want to do is I want to jump into the drone here. I'll go by the dome here. Go back to the plane. Go ahead and do a flyover. That should do it. There we are. There it is, look at that. It's just amazing, all of that right there. And David A. Johnston was probably, I think, somewhere over here. And of course the blast just devastated that whole area there. You look at the film and it's just incredible. And Spirit Lake. Go ahead and go back into our drone and then turn the plane again. Yeah, Mike Coffee. I've never been to Mount Adams yet, or Mount Baker. I've never been to Mount Baker yet either. I'm going to have to go there. There's you know, in the Olympic Mountains, there's a lodge there, and I heard that recently the lodge over at Hurricane Ridge burnt down. So that was sad to hear. So what I want to do now is I want to do a direct. We're going to do a direct, well, we don't want to do that. I think we want to flight plan here. I want to do a direct to the runway that we were just at. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead and hit our nav. And so now we're flying off of our nav. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly in this direction here. We'll fly right by Mount Rainier. There it is, Spirit Lake. St. Helens behind us. Well, we're going to do a direct here. Just enter in there. Okay, so we're doing a direct right now to the runway that we just took off from. And then now we have a good tailwind, a good 15 knot tailwind. And what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and request flight follow.
Seattle Center Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie is type Cessna Skyhawk 16 miles south of Whiskey
Turn
November
my
5510,000
transponder
feet. Request flight following.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie Seattle Center. Squawk 1621.
162.
Delta 2157 traffic is 9 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 240 generic. Report them in sight. Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie
Good.
radar contact 15 miles south of Whiskey November 5510,000 feet. Altimeter 29.96. Delta 2157 traffic is 9 o'clock 3 miles at flight level 240 generic. Report them in sight.
Roger Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
So, we're going to
Seattle
fly
Center, Alaska 1168 is at
with a
flight
little
level
bit of company.
250 climbing flight level 290. Alaska 1168 Seattle Center, continue to Lima Hotel Sierra
There's Mount
as
St.
planned.
Helens. everybody.
Alaska 1168 traffic is 5 o'clock 2 miles at flight level 245 generic. Report them in
Let's
sight.
do one more visit here.
Delta 2157 traffic in sight. Seattle Center Skywest 3458 is at flight level 250 climbing flight level 270. Skywest 3458 Seattle Center, continue to Tango Tango Echo as planned.
You see some of these roads
Alaska
here.
1168 have the traffic.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to
Skywest
plane here. I'm gonna
3458
turn this
traffic
down
is
if I
10
can.
o'clock 2 miles at flight level 265 generic.
turn it down.
Report them in sight. Skywest 3458 traffic
Doesn't
is
sound
4
like
o'clock 3 miles at flight level 260
But anyway,
generic. Report them in sight.
this is that area where I was talking about those pristine looking trees. It's just, in real life, if you look at them, you're driving down this road here, and
Skywest 3458 traffic in sight.
they look artificial. They're just that perfect. It's just, I've never seen, I mean, I've lived in the Northwest since 1984, and I've never seen trees
Alaska
that
1168,
perfect.
contact
It's really
Seattle
perfect.
Center on 126.6.
And then there, of course, is Spirit Lake.
Good day. Skywest 3458 climb and
there's
maintain flight level 350.
a lot of trails there. But if you're in Spirit Lake, this would be your view. of Mount St.
126.6
Helens.
Alaska 1168. Climb and maintain flight level 350 Skywest 3458.
And there she is, Mount St. Helens.
Skywest 3458 contact Seattle Center on 126.6. Good day.
So now what we can do is a little bit of plane spotting here.
.6 for Skywest 3458.
Skywest 3458. So that'll be SKW 3, 4, 5, 8. So that one is going to Fresno. From Seattle to Fresno. Outside air temperature is 5 degrees, 10,000 feet. I don't think we have to worry about any icing today. We do have a 13 knot tailwind. We are 8 minutes away from where we started out, which is Packwood, Washington. We're going to land in
Delta 2157 climb and maintain flight level 370.
Seattle at Boeing Field. What I want to do again is I want to turn on my comm too. See if
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie contact Seattle Center on 13 for decimal niner 5. Good day.
Going to 13 for decimal niner 5 Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
Good day.
Seattle Center Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie 10,000 feet.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie Seattle Center altimeter 29er decimal niner 7 continue as planned.
Going up a little bit. Let's listen to our ATIS. Can't hear it yet. You're not within range. We will be shortly. It really is that hazy in Western Washington right now. There have been a few fires.
Boeing Airport Information Oscar 0200 Zulu. Wind 20 tree at tree. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 2 tree. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29er decimal niner 8. Visual runway 14 left and ILS runway 14 right in use. Landing and departing runway 14 left and runway 14 right. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back halt short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Oscar.
So we probably want
Boeing Airport Information
14 left. That's the
020
smaller
Zulu.
one.
Wind 205 at tree. Visibility.
Let's look at that real quick. Procedure. Select approach. We're saying, okay, that's packed. We don't want that. What we want, go to KBFI. Procedure.
Delta 1672 climb and maintain flight level
Still going
350.
backward. So we'll worry about the procedure here in a minute.
Climb and maintain flight level 350.
Vancouver,
Delta
British
1672.
Columbia.
Alaska
Hello from
114
Vancouver, British
climb
Columbia.
and maintain flight level 230.
Way up north.
Delta
Vancouver, British
1672
Columbia is a
contact
beautiful
Seattle
city.
Center on 126.6. Good
Big
day.
city.
Climb and maintain
Kinda
flight
like
level
the
230
Canadian
Alaska
version
114
of Seattle.
Going to 126.6 Delta 1672.
Now I'm wondering when we get past Packwood there, whether we'll be able to do the procedure yet for KBFI. We believe we will. But we are now just 4 minutes away from Packwood. And of course, we'll be doing the flyover. Packwood, you can imagine in real life, too, we really need to be aware of the terrain landing in Packwood. As we go by Packwood, then we'll do
Delta 1990 descend and
turn
maintain
there
flight level 190.
toward the north, and we'll fly right by another big active volcano, which is called Mount Rainier.
Delta 1990 descend and maintain flight level 180.
Not sure what river that is down there. Hey, my sound is cutting out. That is the Cowlitz River.
Delta 2649er climb and maintain 210. Climb and maintain flight level 210 Delta 2649er. Seattle Center, Jet 8767, flight level tree 60. Jet 8767, Seattle Center, continue to Meadow as planned.
And of course we're at 10,000 feet. If we were to fly straight in this direction, we wouldn't be high enough. And the ceiling, of course, for a Cessna 172 Skyhawk is 14,000 feet. So to even go above Mount Rainier, the Cessna would struggle. We are now 3.8 nautical miles away. My sound is cutting out. I don't like that.
Alaska 114 contact Seattle Center on 124.2. Good day. To Alaska 1143. Alaska 522 descend and maintain 16,000 feet. Alaska 522 descend and maintain 15,000 feet. Delta 740 descend and maintain flight level 180. Delta 740 descend and maintain 17,000 feet.
All right, and we have just now hit our waypoint over
American
Packwood.
2009er descend and maintain 16,000 feet.
There's the runway actually that we took off from at the beginning of this flight. And you can see some of the mud flow. Look at that mud flow all the way from Helens
Descend and maintain 16,000 feet. American 2009er.
And even past it.
Delta 740 descend and maintain
But there's Mount
15,000
Rainier right
feet.
there. And I believe that 10,000 feet is high enough. Certainly hope so.
Generic 806 climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Delta 2649
So now let's go ahead
climb
and
maintain
try
flight level
our
230.
procedure here. Procedure.
Alaska 522 descend and maintain 12,000
Okay,
feet.
so let's go ahead
Climb
and
and
listen to
maintain
that.
flight
ATIS
level
again.
230 Delta 2649er.
I think it's
Boeing Airport in Alaska 522 descend and maintain 12,000 feet. Wind 202 at tree. Visit Boeing Airport information
okay.
Oscar
Runway
0300
left
Zulu.
and runway right.
Wind 202 at tree.
Visual runway left and
Visibility
ILS runway
10.
right.
Sky condition clear.
So we want to do runway left. Visual runway left.
Delta 740 descend and maintain 15,000 feet.
Vectors. And we'll load
Alaska
that.
522 descend and maintain 10,000 feet.
So now let's look
Delta
at that.
2649er contact Seattle Center on 124.2. Good day.
We'll
American 2009er keep speed not above 270 knots.
So we'll fly right over KBFI.
Delta
1175.
7-124.2 Delta 2649er.
So we
Keep
got
speed not
Ratty
above
right
270
here,
knots American
and then we'll go ahead and start our
2009er.
descent. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my final to 3, or my assigned altitude here at about 370. Let's see, 350. I'm going to assign the altitude to 350.
Delta 740 descend and maintain
About 400.
13,000. Delta Tree 8
And then
Jet
we'll arm
8767
our
contact Seattle Center
vertical
on
navigation.
132.6.
So vertical
Good day.
navigation is now armed.
Delta 740 descend and maintain 12,000 feet.
So our next waypoint is Ratty. We're
132.6 Jet
22 nautical miles,
8767.
about 10 minutes
Delta
away.
740 descend and maintain 12,000 feet.
And
Delta
our
382 descend and maintain 15,000
destination
feet.
to our top of descent, and we're about 31 minutes away from our top of descent. And so we will, let me back this up here.
Alaska 522 descend and maintain 13,000 feet.
Through here. Zoom in. Trying to figure out where our
Delta
top of descent is.
2110 climb and maintain flight level 230.
I don't see it on the map yet.
Climb and maintain flight level 230 Delta 2110.
Trying to see where the top of descent is on the map. I'm not seeing it right now yet.
Delta Tree 82 descend and maintain 13,000 feet.
There is Mount Rainier.
Descend and maintain 13,000 feet Delta Tree 82. Delta Tree 82 climb and maintain 16,000 feet. Keep speed not above 270 knots. Climb and maintain 16,000 feet. Keep speed not above 270 knots Delta Tree 82. Delta 740 descend and maintain 14,000 feet.
And Mount Rainier blew with the same capacity that Mount St. Helens blew. With
American
a very similar
2009er
capacity.
descend and maintain
Very big,
10,000 feet.
Very devastating. They say that Puyallup, that's a city that's south of Seattle, north of Tacoma. They say a lot of that
Descend
is
and
built
maintain
on
10,000
ancient
feet
mud
American
plains
2009er.
from previous eruptions of Mount Rainier. Kind of, I think, hitting a few thermals as we're going along here.
Delta 2110 contact Seattle Center on 124.2. Good day. 124.2 Delta 2110. Alaska
Not Rainier,
1288,
but
climb and maintain
Rainier
flight level
Beer.
190.
Yeah, I wonder whatever happened to Rainier Beer. I think that used to be real popular, but I don't know if they sell that anymore. I'm not really a beer drinker.
Climb
Well,
and
I'm not a
maintain
beer
flight
drinker.
level 190, Alaska
I do
1288.
drink a lot of coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. I wonder if they have Rainier coffee. Yeah, do the Puyallup. Yeah, the Puyallup.
American
I think doing the
2009
Puyallup back in the old days
Seattle
is better
approach
than
on
nowadays.
125.9. Good
That's
day.
just maybe it's just because I was younger. But nowadays it just seems so expensive, and then parking is just
125.9 American 2009.
kind of like the New Orleans Jazz Festival. I grew up in New
Delta
Orleans,
382, contact Seattle Center on 132.6.
Louisiana. And the New
Good
Orleans
day.
Jazz Festival back, in I went there in 1980 in the spring. It was
Going
$7
to
to get in.
132.6 Delta 382.
Nowadays it's, I don't know, several hundred probably. I see some switchback roads down there. Look at that. Still quite a bit of snow there with Mount Rainier. On this side here, there's Sunrise, which is about the 7,000 foot level. I think that's what that might be right there, Sunrise. And it's a nice place to be. If you ever get a chance, go to Sunrise. On the other side is Paradise, which is about the 3,000 foot level for Mount Rainier. But this side is Sunrise. Of course, this will be on the east side, facing the
Emirates
sunrise.
226 descend and maintain flight level 320. Keep speed not above 230 knots.
Starting to get into a little bit of cloudiness. I saw
Descend and maintain flight
I
level
saw
320.
some
Keep
thunder
speed not above
clouds
230 knots.
earlier
Emirates
today
226.
as I was driving. I drive a bus for a living in Bremerton, and along some of the cascades there you could see some thunder clouds. But, all that cold air and hot air clashing, creating those thunder clouds, thunderstorms. We are 8.1 nautical miles from Ratty, and then we'll be heading west. Yeah, New Orleans. New Orleans, home of the New Orleans Saints. I remember back in the day going to the Dome watching Archie Manning play. He, of course, is the father of Peyton Manning
Alaska
and Eli Manning.
1288, contact Seattle Center on 124.2. Good day.
He was the only good player on the team. All the other players were lousy.
Going to 124.2 Alaska 1288.
He's a good man, too. Archie Manning's a very good man.
Seattle Center American
There's a documentary
2009
on
is
him
at 11,700
and
feet,
his
climbing 12,000 feet.
football career and
American
the struggles that he
2009
faced
Seattle
as a
Center altimeter
football player
30.03.
with his dad
Continue
dying
to
and
be UBRN
whatnot.
as planned.
And as he
American
was a football pro
2009
player,
contact
pro
Seattle
football
Center
player,
on 128.5.
his dedication
Good day.
was greater for his family than it was for his football career, and it shows. Just you can tell what the way
Going
their
to
kids turned out. And of
128.5
course, they're
American
excellent football players as
2009.
well. Cooper, being the oldest Manning, he had a football career ahead of him too, but he had a back
Delta
injury.
2920
Basically
climb and
ended his
maintain flight
career.
level
But of
190.
course, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning became Super Bowl winners beautiful
maintain flight
evening here.
level 190 Delta.
Flying over
2920.
the Cascades. It's outside of Mount Rainier. You see some of the clouds there gathering up. Maybe even a lightning strike or two. Where I am in Bremerton right now, there's not a cloud in the sky. Which would probably be the case, I would imagine, in Seattle too when we get there. So 14 will be in this direction here.
Alaska 1288 climb and maintain
15
flight
right
level
there.
210.
14 in that direction. So basically what we'll do is we'll just fly straight in, it looks like.
Climb and maintain flight level 210
Exactly sure that
Alaska
big long line
1288.
there is. I could change that to left approach. Do visual 14 left. Just do straight there and see what happens. Load that.
Delta 1579er descent and maintain flight level 180.
Okay, now there's a top of descent right there. Yeah, I don't know what that long line was. Anyway, we're on Ratty now, and we'll get well over, clear of the mountains whenever we start our descent here. And again, I put my assigned altitude of 400. So we'll see what happens. We're heading west. Take another look at Mount Rainier. Can't really see it right now. It's being obscured by clouds. I think that one right there is Mount Adams. Fuel, we're about half full now. We got gallons remaining, 28 gallons remaining. We used 10 gallons
Alaska
so far.
1288, contact Seattle Center on 124.2. Good day. Generic 806,
Heading right into the
contact
sun.
Seattle Center on 132.6.
Time to put on the shades.
Good day.
Go ahead and zoom in a little
Alaska
bit here.
341 descend and maintain 17,000 feet.
So our minutes to top of descent,
132.6 generic
10 minutes.
806. Descend and maintain 17,000 feet, Alaska 341.
And then our
124.2 Alaska
final approach fix
1288.
is 379.
Delta 2920 climb and maintain flight level 270.
Our altitude for straight should be 2,000. When I get there, I should be able to use my
Climb and maintain flight
approach
level 270 Delta 2920.
mode hold switch and arm the approach. So there's Seattle ahead of us. Looks like the clouds are starting to clear up. They're mainly gathered around the mountains.
Alaska
That
tree
cold
for
and
1
hot
contact
air
Seattle
clashing,
Center on
creating these clouds.
132.6. Good day. Going to 132.6 Alaska 341.
So we are now 33 nautical miles from C. Sierra Echo Alpha. 8 minutes from our top of descent. Of course, KBFI will be 5.7
Cessna
nautical
7 Charlie
miles
Charlie
to
contact Seattle approach on 120.4. Good day.
Going to 120 for Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie. Seattle approach Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie 10,000 feet.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie Seattle approach altimeter 30.04 continue as planned.
004. You can see whenever I did that 3004 how it affected our altitude. I'm not exactly sure why my sound cuts out. I don't know if that happens with, you know, if that's a common thing, a common occurrence. I go to forums and I don't hear anybody talking about it, so, or see it, or read anything about anybody talking about it. So I wonder if it's just something to do with my system here. I'm hoping that my microphone sounds okay. No, my coffee, I don't have any add-ons at all for this. You know, I'm just afraid actually you know, with the program being so buggy, I have just a straight Microsoft Flight Simulator premium package, but I don't have any other add-ons. I don't have all the planes, everything, even the liveries, all of that's just for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think that until they get the all the bugs ironed out, you know, then I can do some
Cessna 7 Charlie
add-ons.
Charlie contact Seattle approach on
But I remember even with
123.85.
FSX adding add-ons to that, and it kind of messed me up.
123.85 for Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie. Seattle approach Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie 10,000 feet.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie
We are
Charlie
5
Seattle
minutes
approach
from
altimeter
our
30.03
top of the set.
continue as planned.
003, bring it down just a notch. Yeah, I think I don't know why the microphone was crackier there. You know, I don't know. I got to figure out. Maybe it's my system here. Looks like they're digging up some dirt right there. We have an 11 knot side wind coming from the south. Alaskan Airlines 2781. Alaskan Airlines, well that's AAL 2781. This is AAL AAL 2781, that is American Airlines, sorry about that. And that is an Airbus A321 coming in from Phoenix going to Seattle. You can see it right here on my radar. According to the Flight Radar 24, it's coming from Phoenix. FFT 656, FFT 656. That is a Frontier airline. That's an Airbus A321 also. And that one's leaving Seattle for Denver. So we are now just about ready to that. 2 minutes from our top descent. It's like another minefield right there. Digging up some dirt. Really notice that whenever you're flying. A lot more than you do whenever you're just driving. That other plane circling around looks like. Yeah, you're right, Mike. They will never get all the bugs out, but I just hope that they smooth things out, a lot more and make it look more of a stable product. I mean, it's fantastic, just what they have. But of course, I'm glad that they're always working on it and looking for improvements. Okay, we can look here right now, and our top of this set is about ready to become active. And when it becomes active, down just a little bit, back a little bit, we'll go ahead and back off on our power. As we descend, top of the set right there. There's that American Airlines now headed towards Seattle. Beautiful evening. This is real time. Yeah, it's not bad now, and it's definitely better than what it was when we first started out. We are now on our vertical path. I wonder if I can contact Boeing yet. I'll go ahead and do these.
Seattle approach Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie Seattle approach. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
Cleared through Bravo airspace Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
So the nearest airport list. Looking for a KBFI. There's Renton, there's Seattle. KBFI. And I'll contact tower. Request full stop landing.
Boeing Tower Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie is 17 miles southeast, 9,300 feet with Oscar to land.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie Boeing Tower. Altimeter 29.999, wind 225 at 5. Enter left traffic runway 14 left.
We want to do runway right.
Boeing Tower Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie requests runway 14 right.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie Boeing Tower. Altimeter 29.999, wind 225 at 5. Fly left traffic runway 14 right.
Fly left downwind runway 14 right, Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
So Boeing Field is right over there. And we are now 12 minutes to bottom of descent. But we are 10 nautical miles, 5 minutes to sea. This right here is Tacoma. There's Tacoma tide flats there. Of course, all that activity right ahead of us, that is SeaTac. And that is our waypoint, SeaTac. Which I do believe that we should be at around 5,000 feet, or that seems too high. You know what I'm going to do? There's Boeing Field right there. I wonder if I could just do it. Well, now we'll fly around. So what we're doing is there's our runway right there. I'm not exactly sure how this is. So we got we'll go over C right here and go over KBFI and then circle around. So we'll be coming around and then coming back. So there's a longer runway and then a shorter runway. Actually, I think I picked the anyway, I did pick the longer runway, didn't I? I wanted 14 left. I don't know why I asked for 14 right. Select another runway. Select another runway. I don't want 32 or...
Boeing Tower Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie cancel landing attention.
Left, not right.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie, your cancellation is received.
Let's do this again.
Boeing Boeing Tower Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie
Should tell
Charlie
me
is 8
left.
miles south of
I wanted to
6,000
change
feet
it,
with
but it
Oscar to
didn't give me
land.
the options to. It gave me
Cessna
the options
November
for
Charlie
32.
77 Charlie Charlie Boeing Tower.
Now they changed it.
Altimeter tree 0.00, wind 275 at 5. Make straight
Apparently
runway
the
tree
wind
2 left.
changed, so now it's 32 left. Okay.
Make straight in runway tree 2 left Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
Change our procedure here. I don't know how that's going to affect our top of descent or bottom of descent. All right. So now what we'll do is we'll go here, we'll circle around, and come right in on our visual. Look at that sunset. And that ahead of us is the Olympic Mountains. And that is our sound cutting out. We are now over CTAT. Don't like the sound cutting out. I got to figure that out. That's Seattle right ahead of us there. So what we'll do on this now, we're going to circle around and then we'll go circling around. I don't know, we're going to go this way or we're going to go this way. We're going to circle around and we're going to land on runway 32 left. The big runway. It's interesting that they changed the runway, but the wind is still to my back. I'm going to go ahead and V-speed down here. But I know we're above it. See if I can arm the approach. Backing off on the power. Speed down a little more.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie wind 285 at 5. Caution the Cessna C700 landing runway tree 2 right. Clear to land runway tree 2 left.
Clear to land runway tree 2 left Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
We'll circle around. Path. Okay, there we go. Now we're on a vertical path again. There's Mount Rainier right ahead of us. I got mixture rich. When we circle around and hit our bottom of descent, I want to see if I can This is a visual approach. You know, using the Garmin G1000, I want to see if I can do my approach mode. Okay, we're circling around now. I'm going to hit approach. Yes, glide path is loaded. We're still on our vertical path right now. Okay, I'm backing way down now on the speed. That runway there is the Renton Airport. Go ahead and do flaps here. Our glide path is loaded. Keeping it to about the G right there. This is all autopilot. We got Pappies, 2 white and 2 red. So okay, now the glide path is active. All lights on, everything on. We have about a 6-knot headwind here. Autopilot is off. I am now flying by hand. Aiming for that 1,000-foot marker there. Plenty of runway though, so. Idle. Clear. Pause. Flaps up.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie exit runway when able.
Beautiful evening here in Seattle. And there we are.
Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9er Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
Anyway, I'm gonna just go ahead and follow this right here. And park it. And there it is, beautiful Mount Rainier, where we just came from. Alrighty, that's good enough. Okay, well that was our adventure flying over Mount St. Helens. And I gotta figure out now why my sound cuts out all the time like that. I just can't figure what's going on here. So I'll just have to do some troubleshooting there and figure out why that's doing that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the flight. Thanks for joining me, Mike Coffee. Speaking of coffee, I think I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. You have a good night, sir, and good flight. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you also, and have a great night. Take care.